I was never more quite view. Safe and what kind of one coffee TV soon. You ever didn't come more after Ukraine and Russia, the ACL. You ever dynamics and all Putin. Dear Nama or put to pressure over Ukraine. So Ukraine penny and why will be ampes over support on what are the dynamics. Ama akowie say Ghana for ho ene 14 aba bedru kotoka wiem shen gina bia wo mo aka no ye ba be re studio ya no na ye ne ebi edi nkomo wo Romania wo mo eboabo Ghana for ho na no wo mo kire say buses ni bi aba ayefa ebi di wo mo akọ airport but these ones are individuals wo man ka say twa wo ticket enye di aban di wo mo eba ne bi aban di na think aka 2 days ansana ebi etumi assign ababio at the same time a lot of them so say wo mo emma ama akoye den de ama aban ebra azam ne ba ne nyina ye se aban kofa Ghana fo a wo Ukraine emfa wo mo emra planes ni bi ekodu ho nso a ebi se wo mo emma but there is one specific area wo Ukraine make I say aye den de ama Ghana fo ho over be nipa 100 na de ama aye den se Russia fo no etwa ho ahia enti ama aye den say rescue mission be between akoso ede ama omo some of the information I picking about egusu ya na Ghana for Ukraine be my info na ye nyina eto monim enti say wo hwe map no ankasa Ukraine in fact the whole area no said the Ukraine e wo ho no ohunu say countries e twetwa ho ahia no e bi say obetun ama me quick zoom in on Ukraine area no a obehunu say eso there we go straight kakra me pe baby Ghana for no adwane akwakogugu no ebi ohunu say this all cross border no ansa na watumi akọ but I kwakoye difficult e dey am ebi say o betumi across but currently Russia enso etumi take charge of areas no ebi areas you be find say Russia dominate now and I say omo forces no age ho aboso nso ho a yebehwe Farouk Al Wahab na dynamics we no tiase ya obetumi aboa ya ma yetumi achechemu so we'll be looking at all that but also Ukraine over this side that is where Poland e top hosa that is where ebi mo etumi adwane akwa hwehye na omo hunu se so omo ba fie se omo e ka ho se omo pese omo ko Europe agman ni bizuso yentimi enche enti ye hwese ye betumi akoho ne ne Ghana fo ne bia e wo ho no e di enkomo but aja Farouk
yes
memo akwaba
mam joso
empombo ko de
kofi bia boko
yeguso kakra ye hwese ye betumi ehu dynamics ne kakra but first of all ye hwe obampani Putin who is he obi asuro no assistance na utie Ukraine panin na nsema o kan say obi ambeso beboa na papa bia omo eboa no kra no I stand with but going physically na yeden kakra
okay I put a Russian politician or starting the politics actually or started at said Obi can say at the local level and Otimi Beye mayor Otimi Beye boss of KGB and KGB is like the American CIA version or call it FBI but more or less of CIA of the Russia and for somebody to have gone through the Soviet Union and I said the Soviet republics no be KGB boss no I think say you most dreadful guy more than those who became the president because KGB in the whole do the talisman of the Russia and for that matter time and USSR until politician be well experienced and we can call him a nationalist and also a very hardliner and at the same time stubborn until that is the description okay say me misa men can for putting one
okay so yes stubborn in what sense
stubborn in a way say anything either you call it the standards and I say the ideology or a very ideological person or ideologist
yeah.
Anything from the time if you read his background the opkaso ye biano one relinquish it say one until that makes him stubborn so be regardless of whatever and whoever talks whatever anybody talks he is still only consistent in his own ideology and believes in philosophy and he in short we're a very stubborn politician Russia for Enyan
Sisi a ohwe ba bia omo take charge does it mean say gradually almost take over Ukraine? Looking at the map now.
Okay, very simple. If you look at this from this angle, because you know I deal with this without even looking at the map.
Yeah.
The right side, you know, the eastern part of Ukraine border with Russia. The top, Ubohu, Luhansk.
Yeah.
They fret the same region, either Lugansk, and your Donetsk, and your Mariupol. Now these three regions now, they're from Donbass. Donbass region, and Oba Asia Hamzusa, Crimea. And the problems now kosono the Russia eastern part, that is the eastern part of Ukraine, are on border with Russia. Now when I say belt no Donbass for no, almost claim say they don't want to be part of Ukraine. They want to be called Russians. But if you say step back and we're dealing with the history from where Ukraine and where we are today, I think that will help. Map and I think say a too early into a cut off the conversation.
No, I just want to have
understand
a different way say of
yes,
just quick say.
Yes.
Yeah, because currently Ghana for now be air sharing and they want to be if say them because what check maybe Russia take.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
They are safe. Maybe a Russia interest and why this is
because you know Kharkiv and Kiev no. And only the northern part, and so you're still like eastern north.
Okay.
And to be only interest in one on the Ukraine border, the south. Crimea and the Ojiache.
Okay.
And the Donbass region, Treno, Mariupol, Lugansk, as they call it, Luhansk, and Donetsk. Okosrona, Kiev no, or Mukakrebi. What I say, and the Kharkiv on Owomu Kakra. But who bad the western side in the face Europe, the Polish side, you know, and now say Uba the only Slovakia more border now. Pressure and shudder in you as we speak. Okay. And I believe say whoever is in Ukraine now will try to drift and move towards that side. And when I'm feel say inside, you know, there's a congestion because there's a mad rush towards that side. Bearing in mind that transportation networks would also be difficult. Yeah. And it becomes very difficult say person access that side, you know, I have a problem. But I do not, and even those see many say Africans in the Crimea too much because Crimea no then shut down near baby school be papa be and now say economic activities only the hardcore hardline Soviet and ancient and olden city are only do pro-Russian. The racism near high, and the Africans don't like such an area. And at Donetsk and Luhansk form, the same belt, only a pro-Russian. Almost share Africans and share Africans more into the Ukraine inside the middle and then the North Kiev, and all back the European side, you know, middle European side. Don't forget, say all of them not try, and as most of them you call Ukraine, not almost per Europe.
Okay.
Either through Slovakia, because we were Slovakia, which is Bratislava. We were Bratislava, where you're close to Austria. So we were Hungary, or Hungary, or Befa Hungary, across the southern part of Austria border called Oberwart. We were Oberwart, Wabedu the Steiermark, which is the Hartberg capital, Hartberg, Steiermark region of Austria. Then we were Steiermark or Graz in Austria. Who do Graz in Austria, it becomes easier to go to north, either say Vienna, and as it becomes easier to go to Slovenia, which is the former Yugoslavia side. But when you Graz, Austria, either through the Vienna side and as or the Hungary south now. When you Roma, European Union, we enter European territories. What does it? And the access route, Slovakia, access route, also down enter Romania, but to enter Romania, you have to come also to enter Hungary and also through Bulgaria. And on track and coming to Europe, you have middle Europe, and I'm looking at say, Omunina Baba Fat, do not be Timinia, Rome, Slovakia, Ubu Slovakia, and then Czechoslovakia, Ubu Slovakia, and capital Bratislava, and San Slovakia. easily obetuma call Prague, Odu Praga, we are close to enter Germany from Prague. That is the Czech Republic. Utimi enter Germany from there. And as far Austria also, Utimi cover Germany side. And of course, at the other side of Villach of Germany, Austria also, the southern part of Austria also, or called the northern part of Italy. What they are saying, Vicenza, Padova, Miesti will enter from that time also, or we are Italian territory. Depending on where the person is focused, and I say, Nibi biwa on person Baba Ghana. So near Slovakia territory. And now we are Austrian territory now, and you can only go. Austria is not having any border with Ukraine, or no a border with Slovenia. Your friends say Hungary and no border with Slovakia. Each one of them in our European Union. Into enter from that side, then coming to Middle European becomes very easy.
Near Bomodin say you to me and Ghana for any be or a din come. The issue now, in fact, Foreign Affairs Minister Ajatum, I say over the plane the question or Ghana for any be.
Play no every
yes I think what they are doing is they are
mobilization.
Yeah,
they are doing mobilization.
More tickets to come. And
that's a good attempt.
Family omanka sabusu and for to take it.
That's a good attempt.
So urban. De kakra biaba. No so bebre na say they are not interested in coming.
Sir, they are not in danger as we see.
Okay.
If they are not in danger as we see, because let us not forget, sir, battlefront of any war, the noise now, television is a small object. It captures small actions, and I say they show small actions. Smaller actions in area now are besieged or under siege. You know, those areas in to the world portrayed as big, but on the larger front, in the other now baby or crying or Ukraine crying and talking on television soon watch. On that note. So Felisa or you okay on hand who say be a opesoba. But the more battlefront and our front line no and no more Donetsk in Luhansk, no much as a hono Africans and Ghanaians because that side then you're too developed. And at that side in these universities in schools now more Africans no hono. So be Africa in India Nigeria for na pay offline places are yet no not to no agenda passport not in baby. But Ghana for to need we are city beds. Ghanaians like to be in a city. Nigeria for Kenya, Money, other tribes, other nationals. The team Derina, Tratan baby at Ghanaians, they in fact, on see urbanization method in the way trim. Ghanaian be a two kwaya. So German will be raw up Hamburg or Berlin or Frankfurt near their day, or call Holland, or Rotterdam or Amsterdam or bigger nation cities. In the Ghana for an entire a crisis. And the woman yet be too much affected as we see it. But anyhow, no, it is a world issue. Be a can was to be or why a hununtiana, a busafor no, in Yabutreka. But
I'm in a casa this year, as a very coffee and uncoming bow, but to be about intimate miniatures and my bow. Because
or Jane wants to say, or Baby Pierre, most of them no Okurua Ukraine, Abra no only any resident permit. Or Ukraine, Yendi Porto no. Yancheno, Ebia was starting a documentation and a process. Ebia and a Ukrainian. Let us not forget a good number of the Ghanaians, any Africans know Ukraine. Only now are Ukrainians. Because it's easier, so why Ukrainian about 3 years, 4 years no. Near dom Ukrainian passport a moment to share Nigerian form Ukrainian nationality no in thousands. In the Aka country and the nationals from the African continent or Ukraine is not Ghana, Nigerians only go Ukraine more. Ghanaians, of course, like other countries in Yadurana students. In Ghana, for now, hono say obebe krum ha, maybe a quote unquote, out of rush, wabefu plane near the number to her. There's no way Kofi Obitimako back to Europe and Obitimako to Ukraine. Until they would rather struggle, say, I am mass exit. Let's say you and I, European Union, open exit there. They will take advantage of that mad rush. We'll rather western part, either say Poland. And also will be through Poland, I will Germany, and also will be through Poland, I Czech Republic, after I could Austria, and also before I could Germany. In that thing, say, will be or what say a Kobasi with not easy access or an agent so because there was a huge news out there. That's what TC say. Yeah, Baba from my nice ultimate called Poland, my brother, Kofi Wama.
If you say, if you Romania, no. Say omo twaso omo real Poland na crowd omo dey say
so real Poland or territory of Europe
yeah nti omo say omo sa no almost Schengen we say no also there no borders
no borders but still land number control kakra but as far as abaya crisis na mass refugee okay say me no can program so angel and no catch you say if you went open an exit now me a buffer area now me instructed the countries neighboring say open your frontier na allow the people to access their fine either than that no now because say me racism ya mabrofo ni twam that is not the case is that good number of the countries na sound the divided the Balkan and after the Baltic states from the European Middle Europe and I say the Balkan part of the Europe starting from Poland no no need is a free access and we require Ukrainian national friends saying ID card and resident permit and call Belarus and call Moldova and call Lithuania and call Latvia and to omudiano residents in here exclusive to the country now where you reside. And it's a kobase when you access no person upia ebi a okọ country na those countries in your part of European Union to no so making sure say the immigration laws are respected. It is a matter that borders on immigration. But se kobase mass exodus movement there. Then the UN or i.e. the European Union comes in and instructs say this country open na emereden whether it will be a flashpoint they don't care but they will tell you say a human catastrophic situation no open na omnia access to enter a hono na man for be take
say wo ho na you Ghanaian will you come
say me ho na me Ghanaian na me Ghanaian na me need danger sir I don't see the relevance but me feel say me danger I will just make it up
because of
Ghanaian bia where Ukraine at the moment I won't cry resident permit on your not so baby only Ukrainian ID card, only Ukrainian residents be there. So if there is an exit way to Slovakia, Papa students in Kwambe from Mako. I wouldn't lie to you because that is the end point. Destination here, Middle Europe. Now why Nyan is an was mentioned Hayasa, Nasi a beer exeter, Kofiwan and Kombako. That is the scene. And in Tokano, Uhunisano. A good maybe you don't know a big jubilate because Ukrainians themselves don't forget that they don't have visa free access to the enter Middle Europe and and to when so is another way because in 1990 when the Yugoslavia broke away republics started so the flashpoint was the Slovenia border with Austria. With borders with Salzburg, 24 kilometers with Graz. That's flashpoint, the Maribor border, which is called the Slovenia capital today. No, Papa, Obia Fahokoye. They move all the way from Ljubljana. They move all the way from Croatia, Zagreb. They move all the way from Montenegro. They move all the way from Sarajevo. They move all the way for other places to come and enter the other side, to enter Austria. So or call Ljubljana side or call the southern part of Austria to enter Italy. And they took advantage of that to come to the west. Into sure war no a benefit to you. And a good number of those people at that time from the eastern part of Europe called Yugoslavia no never do Austria. Some of us were students at the time there, so we know and also we live there, so we know what happened.
Church of Pentecost for more Ukraine and Romania ne other borders no Eda wansi ati adwuma amoye but the numbers are to ya omanfo contact no but you say me nim a honey din is it Sumi and I said what is SUMY something a hono na you say Russia for no soldier for na twa ho ahia nti ama aye difficult omunim say blacks e wo hopa and they anticipate Ghana for a bedroom by 100 nti hono e na aye difficult so
be southeast e be close to the don't forget say baby a all year fight no Mariupol down no kakran any Crimea ho that side no the heavy resources base
okay
what you say
okay
heavy resources base ska e wo ho enye ska wo ho say economy na strong but Austria your friends say Russia want natural resources wo ho ho na battlefield because baby a Putin energy home into those are the places our the pressure to Ukraine so and it's our capture and answer we invaded that side now. He didn't just invade it but then there's a strategic reasons all the years let's break down Tokoye by first of all are you for
Russia or for Ukraine?
I'm for the world.
You are for the world?
Yes. Okay. And I'm for the world peace.
World peace.
Yes.
What is happening now?
In Russia.
In Russia.
Okay.
Between Russia and Ukraine.
Ukraine.
The picture now, when say Russia to share Ukraine, so and sometimes it's difficult to know why I want to share also. You have to say probably by our China time as one say Ukraine, you to me the European Union home and some calculations be but as to say I don't back one as for more home. Give us a background to Sir Entokoya.
Let share once again here T4. Russia and Ukraine. Russia na oni na ye the head and the father of the USSR. You can USSR a union of Union of Socialist Republics. Okay?
Yeah.
The Soviet Socialist Republics. Now the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, and I said the Union of Socialist Soviet Republics, any of them that you picking. Russia and a best step forward and obey the head. The Moscow ebe in the capital and the Kremlin ebe in the seat of government. Now 15 federal republics and the core union. The 15 republics, one of them is Kyrgyzstan, one of them is Tajikistan, one of them is Uzbekistan, Yebinya Moldova, one of them is Belarusia. And you be Russia nankasa, and you be Georgia, and you be Armenia, Georgia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Omuninara, including Ukraine. These were the republics na omye maku 15, including Belarus, etc. Omuninara ne kabo omu no omsi omko join union. Omko join union no. The union, as it was called, USSR, Kremlin, Moscow, and the house will be and to me nipa baku, and bushia baku, and more language baku. But territorially, no, na omu republics. Republics ni yenye bi wokrom hada. Ghana gained independence 1957 crown. And yet areas in na joining. Until said the whole areas in na joining no. Near did 3 years of our independence and you been the Republic Day in 61 and 1960, 1st July. No? And that is when all of them they formed, say, Ukraine and Republic, Georgia and Republic, Moldova and Republic, Belarus and Republic, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, woman individual republics, no count a boom, a former Russia. In 1985 thereabouts, na omo party, a friend the Communist Party, what I say, of the Soviet Union. Engineer friend say CPSU. What I then say? Okay. That was the Central Party or the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, CPSU. 1985, no, leading to that 84, no, now Mikhail Gorbachev, under the president. Udika be a secretary of the CPSU and subsequently be a president in 1985. Well, president 1985, no, US had a president called Reagan. But what they say, and my almighty Margaret Thatcher, a UK. I'm talking in terms of the superpowers. Yeah. Now, Mikhail Gorbachev, a buyer, from 85 or 5 years, no, and or started say, or tried say, or catches a republics, no, in Kronosuson. Because pick Ukraine we about 45 million. O pick Belarus on the number 20 something. O pick Moldova also, Turkmenistan also, Afghanistan of also, Kyrgyzstan also, Kazakhstan also. Countries in republics in Susan there. And Kamumien Chichem, near my flag bearing nation, sovereign nation with sovereignty rights. Now women in our countries. We are instead, name young what the federation like United States, and federalism, woman. America could also have done say Georgia, Atlanta, New York, or a country. But America for the federalism and at the state level, no come who bomb number United States of America. United Kingdom will be or the Irish, Wales, and Scotland, or become bomb so yen. Now Russia for no a year joining say. Gorbachev adwene say yenye ne saa ntisi ye kɔ UN Security Council ni e vote a ye wo more vote instead say de one vote na bɛkɔ into try convincing wo mu but Russia for communists as they are no more ideology no more principles say bɛkɔ the West amia be from democratic nations in 1991 enom ye dey etu no elections tu no so they were looking for a hardliner no ye hardline politician or no ye pro Russia and that's why you pro communist enom the Boris Yeltsin buy but prior to that 85 for now your friend say Gorbachev be president no under 1 year 86 April being and Russia that is the Soviet Union arms warheads nuclear heads in Ukraine Georgia no oniama onsusie Kazakhstan no oniama osie Turkmenistan no oniama osie under the federation because we are one country enti 86 no na it was a bit surprise say obey president Mikhail Gorbachev no edi 1 year no yehu ya ne say Chernobyl which is the city that was holding the weapons of Austria your friends Russia any omo no ayin arsenals no bim eni jatom into that reactor no especially the number 4 reactor no ehode na no omo dangerous eniama wo ni nyina ahye that was under Mikhail Gorbachev into abaye bibi said the Chernobyl disaster and the US nyina the there reactors in the smoke ni your friends environmental eniama at the end of the day no the world fight Russia for fight here and doom no and bibia to try enti Gorbachev free power 91 na Boris Yeltsin buy no na still no pro Russian for no and pro Moscow for no say sa ideology and I said the system see enko join ye entity republics na nye bi there but now Gorbachev are prepared grounds ama na
obi bisa o ha Felix Michelle say edino Gorbachev and I say
Gorbachev
okay but yes ya dey ntino no o take chop na no
that be Gorbachev okay Gorbachev
okay
enti Gorbachev free one na Boris Yeltsin buy no na Boris na nkasa no na on say on concentrate because sabi no onom sambo na Gorbachev buy no oba beto John Major their friend say Boris Yeltsin buy no na Margaret Thatcher exit wa resign in 1990 ama John Major abem John Major elderly politician of the UK's Boris Johnson no wanyini kakra e no obeto no into social between 1991 92 91 na Boris Johnson buy no na Major ho that time no na Reagan so ne na Margaret Thatcher de omukọ na Bush senior e na ho 91 92 92 American elections January 20th and Bill Clinton buy and the interesting thing Clinton buy no only a smart politician smart diplomat and obi ko John Major ho and omni Boris Johnson and started say on the Clinton ni di nkomada bia na osre krokro no sa entu hu ye no na applications after applications 15 republics no obi atete say open country Boris Yeltsin wan kahwe Belarus no aten Moldova no oko Lithuania no oko Latvia no oko Kazakhstan no oko Tajikistan no oko Uzbeks any omina obia ehu no obia titin ene beka Moscow in 1991 to 1999 under the presidency of Boris Yeltsin no nature say Russia Soviet Republic no a breaki e breaki ene beka Moscow nemo Moscow no be nya ally say me Belarus me ko the Minsk government me ko name Kazakhstan me ko name me ally still with Russia
okay
baby nya hardcore highline say or the only Russia ni bibia ibi now this is how Ukraine or the tin no Ukraine I want a parliament na Belarus
initially no na Ukraine e can Russia Soviet Union no kan
one year only the main na match say on kan ni chrome weapons
okay
now 1991 now Gorbachev free power no it was surprising say Gorbachev koye na no wo Gorbachev buy no 1986 na Chernobyl share o free power na 91 Ukraine for call omo no parliament enye the parliament of the Kremlin and omo ko sign say yenye Russia biom into ono no odi Moscow anko ono an ye self-proclaimed independent and oje no ono an independent and adana oka say we Ukrainian Republic onye part of Russia bi 91 and also then the president ebaye ni nyina no na kese Boris Johnson and ho 95 na Boris Johnson na ho na Clinton aba picture ni mu no omne kasa Chernobyl so ahye and Ukraine started say or build up to be a powerful force to reckon with. Now Johnson be free power 99. All this period in the 90 column no. Now this Putin now or your mayor of your friends in Moscow and obey a KGB boss. And to obey a KGB boss, and it means that our knowledge and also ni me kwanya e be a fast wa nyina break away and also disintegrity here. Okay. Until 99 no I will push the agenda 98 enter into the presidential race. That time Boris Johnson crab be 6 months no ntimi nkasa into a standing elections na 99 year to man. Year to man or swear in 2000 alongside with President Kofomo. Okay. That time na Clinton so akọ from 1993 also akọ 2 terms 93 to 97 no na John Major so resign here na Tony Blair buy Tony Blair buy and obeto Clinton. Tony Blair is one of the intelligent, to me, fine politician. Clinton, one of the intelligent, fine politician. And then the Jacques Chirac of the France. And this cruise, you know, any boys in jelly, a man is soft on Yama. But you buy, you know, your friend say, put him by 99, no, not Clinton time or so. Now I used to so Tony Blair, so the resignation, abitum, I'm on so no, omunano. Omo den no omo den politically diplomatically no omo ko and put him by time I put him by no na ka Russian colony I am friends one republic from Chechnya no and omsusu no omsu application demo a omso ti omo ho and you put in chance na 2000 no and also you are not going anywhere enti Chechnya for no raise arms no omsu say Russia you weak enti omne ne kono Putin estampo on them and killed 8,000 people within 2-3 weeks. Odifiti omono, and I'll say, more ammonia Russians, and there's no country called Chechnya. Into Omo rebels, I know we just are fighting for independence. Ominano, do Donaka underground since 2000 bepimne. Okay. And the Putin Tinasi, and also or yet Russia, and will raise what is called the Putin decrease, now 14. Now kind of 14 decrees now or installed in May into one friend May decree or yeah May decree 14 no and or chere a kwanya or pass of us running the Russia and as it were Russia must be strong again into or your economic reforms or your social reforms and or yeah a lot of things and or say countries are over free Russia Federation ni mono nyina antiase say they have to neutralize. Neutralize it around Russia. The country no neutralize it. Organization biana Russia will you and India only free to join. Name not to many idea be arms no on person become because say more part of us. Ye never be abidim ho munim ye secret near the ade and is all neutralize or no any problem. Now when it decreed way back in 2000 but will be ignore no. And didi na occur first 4 years we 2004 we no say election and we win landslide victory and occur 2008 we 2008 no now we force the Russian parliament ko 3 and Russia for me say there be ya man nko third term enti third term no omu constitution ni say obetima ko 2 consecutive times no a step no asa back and occur Dmitry Medvedev Edinburgh or the Medvedev Bayern, or yeah, what is called tan democracy. Tan democracy, nature said, may the power amount, Jimmy Kura, but me here as I me back. And Dimitri Etias, and no, you know, your friends, they put in a move from the presidential palace and as presidential seat and or call prime minister, or be a prime minister, and or the Medvedev, be a president. No, be a president, prime minister, no, I will Dimitri near president, no. Russia Parliament law be no man sign or no sign BBA presidential house and a palace na or no put in team no wama boy no so antenam because net and democracy what you see into chani 2000
and democracy we di kakra na we di kakra
madunwa arrangement sabi yam fan in the case of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo nanka woko 4 years no the system ni timman babaka the 4 years ni bend no de ma president vice president Mahmoud Bamia ntinke ye 2020 elections no nanka wasaba abeje ne friend and democracy
okay
nti oji anu wie ye no oba back 2008 na 2008 o wie ni term no de ma oye tan democracy system no o de ma Medvedev no e no kotena ase wan kotena ase o that criminal who as a prime minister 2012 e no oye den o say unity e no sa de na ade ma no e no sa win a landslide victory nti odi 2012 o ji wie ye no e no hu say na afa emire wonanim so obedi kro bitima say di another 8 years nti country bia woni Russia beef no onu mu bedili okay obaye no 2012 the first thing oyeye any Crimea no the eastern border with Russia south omye Ukraine border ne fa wo mu
okay
but woman kasala no mu shato say person mbeko Ukraine they want to be part of Russia
okay
Crimea for no that time no president Victor Yanukovych wa ma wo mu kwai wanti ase na ono no more or less in pro Russia into wanti ase amakwai ama Crimea for anko what are they na say and it was easier say beba Putin ebekwa akoje ho in the 2012 na oje power na obsa efa kofa Crimea no na omo Ukraine for declare Crimea for so omo rebels declare so omo rebels no. That time it was under the presidency of your friend say Poroshenko. Poroshenko no ebaye no ono no ye billionaire already as a president. Confectionery products, milk, any you know, no too rich, no worth more than 3 billion. And obey a president our Ukraine. Obey a president of Ukraine and our ne your friend is saying your friend say Putin started say omunya problems. But don't forget so only council no union under Kremlin because no nyina ye KGB boys. And you know the office of Putin. And to in the history of Ukraine no one president utini Russia or Ukraine or ye friends Putin any problems no so Putin. Now Yanukovych Victor no ye pro-Russian Ukrainian president no dwane kotan Russia. And I was so buy no Poroshenko no one Putin yes so ye gidi but ono ya signing nyina no ono so need the president we are Ukrainian for sika massively and to who say ankoye the oye na nkwen in 2000 or in 2015 2005 15 a term ho no 15 years 10 to 15 ho no and omo ye election and omo ye day omo pam no enti na ono no Poroshenko no ono the best started the agenda of the European Union because catch a Ukrainian say odomo call west odomo join European Union and he was the one that started the agenda of Ukraine joining European Union. Bearing in mind said NATO now Russia Ukraine at that time no Ukraine again independence no o neutralize ye can neutrality and a neutralized nations these were the countries declare in the world say on fa etuo onu obi anko okay on joining the NATO forces MAS NATO no obeka ho no obeko ntokwa so obeko NATO ni mukra na on raise arms or call humanitarian which are the countries Norway where red or white red and black okoy Latvia uhu no okoy Lithuania okoy declare internal Russia is comfortable and the Ukraine that we are talking today no also declare neutrality. Denmark declare neutrality. Norway, Sweden, only the first country could declare neutrality. Say only the second world war who have tokwada on person no be abeko. Austria, red and white nation, will declare neutrality. And Poland also declare neutrality. But only the exchange no jeopardizing or joining NATO no. And a host of countries, Costa Rica will declare neutrality. Spain will declare neutrality. Mexico will declare neutrality. 20 countries and Russian Turkmenistan our ye part of Russian Federation. Omu nyina ate ase say be declare neutrality around the Russia because or say declare don't join NATO because ba be me enemy. And to omu nyina Ukraine was a neutralized nation onkra arms. So Putin surprisingly, even though he's one of the stubborn presidents, na ono koma Crimea for independence forcibly. Or catch Ukraine for say sa strip hano omso mpeso mba Russia Ukraine so momunka Yanukovych na ohon on de no tiase be Petro Poroshenko ni so on tiase and na oba 2012 na ye Putin no o start kokoji ho wie ye no one day o che 700,000 passports and what the man Crimea for say munyam your Russian and we use that as an and what they call UN say Crimea for ni nyina so ma ba Russia one omunye country and yet only self-determination but they are part of the Russia alliance into oma be Russian citizens into UN ka omanu tumu name Lugansk ana Luhansk ana Mariupol ana se Donetsk for ne de de no so mo flag and so person ye ana Russia catch Ukraine say e kwan a wo fa so te ho a wan kra me no wo so person ye part of their own country into mo kwa ho na heat no bae. Okay. And now Ukraine forces women to declare the Donetsk rebels and will declare Mariupol rebels and will declare Lugansk. Sa border near friend Donbass no. The Donbass region in will declare me rebels. And the Putin fee said or call for soon help woman no only Ukraine. Interestingly no Ukraine will declare say oh yeah. How do we call a neutral land no? Why application to be part of NATO?
Where the kind say Putin ama omunyina agya tum say omunjoin ni obia.
Na omugye atum Boris Johnson at time. Omugye tum e Gorbachev time.
But now the new president of TCC.
Yes, Zelensky.
Yeah, what saying?
Zelensky Volodymyr Zelensky.
Okay. Why am putting in history?
Yes.
Ono ne history ne say.
Ono ne say. Ono no time Poroshenko no ekoba say ono dey be save Ukraine do mako Europe. Actually, nearby no, I witnessed the massive fraud in the history of Ukraine. Really? And as a link in so, Obaba betwa European Union no Jumano so. Inti omutu abana demand no. Ono no ye nagen so no de or anti-Russia. Okay. Into ono no e by abem. Okay. 2018.
I when the team on Russia sem. Enti omo declare neutrality ni nyina no ono ba still.
No on imagine when team. Into omutu Poroshenko 2019 no. Zelensky buy no obaye na also started the European agenda and or intensify the search to be part of European Union first. Your application for European Union no European Union the application ni too. But then European Union and Ukraine as we speak strong worded message said ya bejima tum near prepare grounds near the mabeka ho integration no name on 2024 na ye member. So be a member of the European Union now. Instantly no on function bibia say is cannot be joining your person show performance your person show economy your person show security your person show assistance support any niema we dey by European Union to 2024 no join here 6 years thereafter which is 2030 no ehon na ne ye be ma ultimate enter the Schengen obetima enter the currency obetima enter niema mebre but this war na wo mko no niema miensa economic war to the Russians a political war to the Russians and diplomatic war to the Russians. Economic war ni say Ukraine ebe part
of
the European Union na ne gas no obe pump aton ama Europe.
Gas no Ukraine.
Ukraine was head of the Russian gas no.
Okay,
Georgia mu nyina obi. Russia one dey but as we speak no Russia na ton the gas edima Europe. Na 80% of Russia gas kra German for kwa na eto. France Toby, Holland Toby, Omunyina Toby. Into Russia and a massive scandal in the middle of Europe. Okay. And to say Ukraine be member there, or no back by the European membership agreement, into betima ton gas and cheaper than the Russia the woman. And to Putin who say doom hona, this is some enkoye. That is the economic reason. Okay. Political reason is say what you say, so could join the European Union no. Next is what enter the NATO zone. But politically, what you say we a neutral nation. But who could join it there? Next say European Union, NATO, any European nation back frontier anymore. Ebe establish base. Ewo Ukraine. And Russia sees it said, on Russia ni NATO special agreement. I friend the Russia NATO Council. And only a special agreement to be a Russia membership no or a membership, but never may be on NATO yet. But on one special council agreement, no NATO for you free ho. Into on Russia say a conflict say Ukraine about NATO anymore. Now on NATO war agreement, for a council agreement. Now a famous so no. Okoje Crimea in 2012 political decision by kwa NATO take yen and suspend Russia. Na Putin wabani second term, the third term 2012.
No more suspended Russia free.
O must suspend as we speak. Every NATO. But we suspend no say ni mumye cancel agreement nso fio. Ene de NATO fo anyi. And also say munyi dia montima Ukraine so ntimi member. Mempene because that was not the agreement. Say mo mane be member wabebe me hwana no dodo. When me war tactics, when me defense system, into a bam hananeke say NATO is facing Russia. But Russia also no agent tokwa ato no so say NATO nya trouble on so be support. Russia, the allied forces, NATO, any American for call Afghanistan. No. Afghanistan, Russia koi, but one to or your support services or share logistics or call your friend say medical the support to the allied forces. Into no pese on in the territory will be a problem. Now, ono year ni say we in European Union man 2024. Yehu ya say NATO forces be ma Ukraine 2024. Omsu be mo membership. And we need Putin the biggest problem. And the honing your friend say the diplomatic turn down and as a diplomatic part of the crisis. Majority I say. Yeah. In my view, at that time, no, it was too mad rush for NATO say suspend Russia because Russia is a bigger ally and we are superpower. It is what suspending from 2012 oko invade Crimea eko jumbeka Russia ho. Fine man so ho. Name 3 countries in anom year stretch no. Russia, any Belarus, any Kazakhstan, any countries na year pro Russia no. Only 5 countries among the 193 countries of the United Nations. Some 5 countries in Kwana taking Lugansk, any Donetsk, any Mariupol as adopted country. Putin said, "Me a superpower." And the South countries, me to me recognize you because I'm too many conquer Yugoslavia, Albania, Kosovo, Albania, Tirana, any other. UK ni America ni the Western world nso adopt to Emma wom yeden independent nation wom ti omu free Yugoslavia Serbia ho enti yesusu ebetima mo ma yeden a country on their own and the issue diplomatic issue no hange ho a NATO fo na ndi asem na nwie and this application to be the European Union member Ukraine no ho and this problem of the neutrality na Ukraine and now no all free mu akọ join the defense forces of your friend is NATO and so eba. Now, interestingly, no, a honey dynamics, no, and I mean, if you said,
when Russia became part of NATO, Russia, yes. no, come home. One of them come home as a member, okay. But the membership no a certain limit, okay. And was signing so much or signing Russia will cancel any different NATO on the Russian Council, okay. Any different agreement because Russia no. Superpower no per se or near American for near the join one organization. But a number be a no one Atlantic no baby one or motiase agreement and obey more or less say or a member. Into suspend membership no side diplomatic problem o man solve. Into confuse o man solve there. Next say Ukraine now Russia suru no say obetima hard no. Ako join here Russia feel say ne your friend is saying the territory no endangered and I put in see a politician and I'm say we stubborn it o feel say we entitled say when timi ma Ukraine enko Europe na the economy ne gas me bono na o ma me treat e me ye ne defense on threaten no but ma me ma quick a history your friends of Poland are on Ukraine and Russia war border Poland for na omu leader 15 years ago 2010 2000 and something 20 around 15 years ago no yeah. Poland for president only the prime minister only the defense minister only the IGP only nipa mako 100 and Putin invite you 2012 2010 na onu Putin prime minister some nyina amra ye former allies
Nien celebrated the day of Russia independence. Omu nyina call Russia, eko celebrate here. Omu pie abano. Ena border ne so boom. And imagine say one day president, prime minister, and omu former president omu nyinara no omu ye pro Europe. Putin finishi omu nyinara. Enti ebema Poland for the omu suru. But the history again is that Ukraine land no enye Ukrainian for no crowd there.
Okay.
Ukraine, Poland for land.
Okay.
When in the 15th and 16th and 17th century, no, Poland as a country was wiped out from world map. First World War, Poland was wiped out. There was no Poland. Russia for the Polish fought and Umber gain here. 45 women sa konye and obeji Poland in Sio na asase so ma no enu ja sa part no edima Ukraine enti ye ka the landlord and the landowners of Ukraine country na Poland enti Russia da bia no wo hwe ade a Ukraine beye because say Russia and Ukraine no one family. Okay. Poland Russia your friend is saying Ukraine landlords and Russia also European territory. And a Russia and so NATO territory monti. Russia any Poland so what what I say obia dan hoso Poland dan hoso. And this Ukraine fight no and he say the Western world no NATO anybody Europeans miscalculated. The miscalculation was that they started talking me catch your interview before say enya dey Europe obia be donate one single arm.
Yeah.
Obetimi de ammunition ko. But obia no de ni troop back on elebeti Russia. O ka se me cancel some ne chair. After na Ukrainians na hu say mo ka se mbebo assistance support. Logistics no de buy nipa na beto. Why? Because say Russia army 900,000. The reservists inquire 2 million. Ukraine army 273,000. The reservists have no call 100,000. And in terms of the firepower no Russia will be but won't mean 900,000 amenko. What is going on now? No, let the public understand. So we understanding the strategy and the defense system and the Russia. Nobody can tell what is in the mind of Russia as of now. But then the diplomacy breakdown and NATO are managing ye, European Union are managing ye. No. So when Putin started warning Ukraine, no, not that time it could have been dealt with at the diplomatic level on the table. Using the corridor of diplomacy and now using the table of diplomacy. European Union for now anyesa, NATO for anyesa until say Putin be declare invasion. So we declare invasion there. Invasion must come with a result. Enti must we wakokum nipa wa pie ko. International criminal justice system no ebe catching up. Enti ebusa say Putin mission obi anim. European Union for now nkasa num say the NATO headquarters in Brussels, ono anka say neutral land in 20 nkoko. Amsterdam, Holland ontimi nkoko. Now no, se mu nyina mu ntimi donate ana mu ntimi volunteer mu troops. Now so the tuo be kwa tuo nipa na eto.
Aba say me soja ni bi a omo aware sisi na nsen ya honeymoon ni nyina omo kokoro.
Etuo no nipa na eto. Yeah. Entimu di tuo komana na amini ndua. Enti
we say we be o say wa betimi a fight ama Ukraine bia.
Only the other fight best sell me say Russia amini 900,000.
Ye for kan kra Ghana soldier for kan.
The population 145 million. United States population 355. America on the National Guard in Akaboma 1.2 1.3 million. Russia and Kwande need 2 million reservists. Our Maya prepare say attempt bia na Russia benya problem ye nyina be sorry for arms. Onyusu omo. This fight no more kono. There is no Russian special forces. When you say special forces,
you are the team B.
You're from baby army.
Mule for no.
They only are the baby army neko.
Empony.
Enti onye maminchro. Putin is not going say or call akoji Ukraine.
Okay.
Putin is putting pressure on Ukraine so that European Union should be fed up with their involvement and then with their membership. Putin is putting pressure so that NATO ebe you himself in Ukraine. Now I refer Ukraine to the neutrality. And only idea Putin oye. Now intimidation no NATO for ensusu ama political heat na memuno. enu na aggravate story na am put in the buofu now.
But could this also be true? Humble Ozzy said the West is deliberately using Ukraine to test the capacity of Russia.
The West cannot use that to test the capacity of Russia. They can use that to provoke.
Okay.
Listen to me, not to test, to provoke.
Okay.
And to almost provoke woman. Russia in very well say, NATO ni kaboma individual countries will be ama. Poland will dare not make a mistake so only Russia can start atrocities beam. Now, NATO no, the story ni yo.
Yeah.
Dynamics ni say, now Russia, ye friend Obi, German Bundeskanzler, Prime Minister, and Angelica Merkel, or you Putin political daughter, or no see integral part of the NATO. Mami no on 20 years no, Putin bedi 10 years or no 8 years no, oni mami no, oni ne ka Russian, oni no nkuta hudie, enti NATO crowd Russia, o masem kobo ba Russia so a na bibia ha de waye. Adan na mami ni free power under 1 year. Schultz in the SPD, Socialistische Deutsche Partei no ebaye no, o must start intensify the membership of Ukraine. Now no, Sir Angelica Merkel wo mu a enka sa issue no ka Russia nko anfa hit na ama. Be mami ni free ho no, ono no Putin feel say so the pressure to Ukraine so a na refugee mass refugee no German for the benya influx into Obama problem SPD government no discredit you any a political strategy of your friend saying Putin. Now obi an hu Putin tim adwene say NATO for kasa France to messages Boris Johnson or two messages when very well say Royal Army need to enkoko because
Ghana cry issue statement says ceasefire Russia ceasefire
and then I make you say you join the international forces to give statements, but you don't go unilateral unitary statement. And the next war attack country, no, either verbal or whatever. And Ghana no, or be joining the international forces. So any day put you on new niasem. Okay, say no, make us say Ghana and me ma on one so speech say putting Jadioyan or joining the international allies say
where can put in
ceasefire and joining the another so a diplomat in India ko wakambi. Now. NATO did that omo European Union did that omo international forces. They were thinking say na America for being involved. Military.
Ukraine for ya na.
Ukraine for you no visa America for beba. But let me tell you and tell the world and tell the listeners. America they are too smart. Because we say case in the European case. And on him say Trump na ha enka your friend is a Putin. Enka you NATO kra no nka Putin suso be stop de ekoso no say o man NATO kwa mom so nyesa but Joe Biden him very well sir Putin no wo Americans nkoka baby o developing Ukraine America will lead Europe over 100 years in terms of development and political structure ni bibia on fa ne hu nkodi Europe achi ema Putin ema meto Washington on medi Putin achi Europe achi ema the Cuba waters a year Cuba 100 kilometers nautical miles no Cuba side no Russia vessels wo ho America is super intelligent super clever say on tutuo ne oba make a political speech eno na ekoso
Antonio Richie Van Dyke say Kofi I'm living in Slovakia next door to Ukraine.
Yes,
the American troops are here in the eastern part of the country but can't enter Ukraine, but it is scary the way more planes in a display
America bed maneuvering where a NATO member NATO for any asem obey scouting obey maneuvering on two weapon on two bomb on drop one paratrooper on drop one parachute Ukraine and answer Russia ultimate try unco tempt America America unco tempt Russia but or patrol a NATO with American troops and yes sir but exercise
into skirmishes
nemom who said why are you to what is in the Putin's mind and he said there were 5 to 6 main lunatic governments of the world. You can lunatic governments of the world that Putin a prefect. So you can lunatic government of the world that is the president Obama Russia and a prefect and the vice here China and the chief of staff North Korea Kim Jong Un and over Cuba Mbajo they say and over Nicaragua na se wo ba the side na omu ye supporting of the lunatic onye main member block no Pakistan or anti-American into another support Russia majority ase Cambodia onu no a neutral land once you declare neutrality but omu ye pro Russia yawa Indonesia or ye pro Russia yawa Singapore or ye neutral land or ye pro Russia and say lunatic governments no wo ka omu boma omu ko be 8 she omu military population nehe China nkwan nyema ekura no she South Korea no nkwan ne nyema ni missiles ICBMs any the long range missiles will team call at the America into American ko engage with Russia because an anti-missile defense system no or che the free Russia ba no na ko sa be che the free ha or che the free Russia ba no che the free North Korea na or catch the free Pakistan no catch the free America will not be stupid to do that because it will be too much overwhelming na cap one-on-one countries na the Nordic 5 no Norway on 122 Sweden on 22 Finland on 22 Iceland on 22 Denmark on 22 into Nordic 5 ni nyina ko free mu Ireland or a neutral land on 22 into him for and they form the basis of NATO Ghana and any Russia kokum and the United States will make statements Boris Johnson make statements but the real fight no obi antimi mention the word lunatics ni team anything I make sure say anybody to suggest says our war we be do world war there can't be any world war meaning say there will be a world crisis it is ongoing now because superpower are sorry ekura arms into a world crisis name say an escalation of world war there na me say ahun say can English Boris Johnson tell his excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo say onfa Ghana troops emra na royal me say dom year no Korea war say dom year no Burma war
Ghana so yes no mboko
masa Ghana peacekeeping no say Boris Johnson free Ghana and na royal army war air enye so the need soldiers and eba or the need play back Ghana also so no ye part of international community bra Ghana the helicopter no entimi nu Togo enu amekan mesa kabiem with all respect to Ghana army onu answer me see any jet and an helicopter and cause your castle or Johnny Togo for cry no makwa otu free Accra obenu msuo so ga kope border obesi former numsuo ewo Akachi ansa no numsuo denu and this helicopter no the nipa ni trem no de akokwa na asesen Nigeria jet fighters 5 no obehokwa na fu anim because omu yebi omu ko Gambia e ko celebrate independence day omu the helicopters in kwasi Ghanaian and it's a country individual country obaka ko kante woni mini NATO na ntokwa momiamra now France young man e kasa the France army se ba se NATO so obeko a hwe ba bia Paris wo eni ba bia ne palace wo oyeso owura Germany no be wura up to East Germany and I said today we say Berlin no ko wura Berlin di ko wura Poland papa would Moscow sit there say Paris for move e di aba or then the tanks far from our middle Europe e di abeko ana there be bearing in mind is say Liechtenstein Luxembourg omo nyina declared neutrality and Switzerland and France obefa hin so okofa Leona why fan obefa
we nya menti Israel mo Israel
TME Bibi Netanyahu or your strongest ally with the United States and our Russia as very good links meaning say Israelis you were more than 45% of Israeli nationals are Israeli Russians and Bibi
no so aye din
no kakabia obecho padas be ko no ankasa no ne Knesset no ne parliament no Russians na tete ho are you aware and Bibi Netanyahu enka bi and American force you imagine say person na Russia face of or be expect say Israel be ba beka ho Israel will not attempt so on Russia beko enye se bi ontimi ne nko and ontimi nye bio but Israel onto sadie already no our battle e won the region the moment Israel bema arms so or Russia kokono it gives room to the Palestinians it gives room to the your friend is saying ni Syria it gives room to the Lebanon borders now already no Aleppo omu nyina so pe Israel it is lunatic government no Syria or joining member of the lunatic government it whereby said not to some kokon Syria or mekoma America or bekoma Russia until lunatic governments na be doso and na putu fear no omu nyina so fighters ukai bu Kurdistan Could you start a lunatic government? And Roman Yinaso Moko joining normally Russia Akontokwa. Who is Holland? Who is Luxembourg? Who is Germany? Who is Austria?
Enti no bia ye din sese.
Enti obia betima kasa, but Roman nim se omako kan hit. And Russia no so Putin ankasa no, sebisi atia tum so ebodam ni a, yenim adwene wo nitim, but the bottom line is say politically, diplomatically, economically and defense wise no, Russia, any foreign nation outside or either than Ukraine or better to back Russia no, the lunatic governments will ramble Oba beji Putin echi enu na ma Kofi omu nyina no sabi ehu abo wo mu a obia ntimi nko forward say or kwade ne ho akowura ntokwa na mebre otuo mebre wajan mebre osekai mebre pansa mebre we se ni de fa koma no ne anhwe kwan a obefa so a obeto
but wo wa say Russia fo adwane ajomo soja fo bi adwane ajomo
wo
aparaketo bi akohunahuna Russia
soja na make sure say Russia do ye ni intimidation. Okay. Omo battlefield sisi ani ye baby army. Omo efa omo no won 2-3 years for army no. Omo na ho. So Russia so o releasing the forces ankasa e de akogu Ukraine a. Kabaten ka ye destruction are massive. Share a clever thing bi oyeye. O say Zelensky mra na yenye den yankasa. Na Europe for ni NATO for de no omo ye no. Bramian trans ni yankasa. Ehin fa na Russia o select here. O say Belarus. Onye na adwun so be move to the communist zone ni mu. Zelensky ye miske no crab owura Belarus Minsk ho a omkwa akopeke no ho opeke na obesa retake Ukraine and American force say Zelensky mra US omo befa no o say there be I'll die like a martyr onko and German force say omo manifesto so onko I'll remain here onim why because we free opena breakdown in government Russia bit ma peke into the strategy ni say Putin obi anim de woni team. And the strategy is Putin put excessive pressure and force on NATO using Ukraine so the NATO members should move. Na lunatic governments in take over. Kofi, Emra COVID by me catch you. Say I'm pampa say world war, conventional war. Say the world war bar over 200 countries around the world. And him find land ba obi kwa kofa. You need land.
They say part the war there.
And to be able because say independent nation Ghana when you independence next week no when you 65 years of independence. Eye then na British work akofa Kenya for agum edo magu jombom si ekwa akoko. Enya possible Kenya onko, Malawi onko, Zimbabwe onko, Zambia onko, South Africa, Namibia omnyina obi anu obeko. Portuguese islands, Portuguese colonies of Africa. Portugal were declared neutrality long time also onko. Eden na Mozambique, Eden na Angola. Majority adenase ede na Guinea Bissau Quebec ebede no wakobi antimi nko obi edi ne ho so Sierra Leone odi ne ho so enti British army cannot call Sierra Leone so bra me nkonkokon kwako that is the irony enti I hear the talk show and omo kasa obi enu obetima boa
enti what will you tell Ukraine now?
Ukraine ne say me am pro peace. Ukraine in very well say Russia started the full scale of a war. Declared said the Omadika invasion no or said the Ukraine will be in a heat destruction be massive but and so on the flip side of it no Putin who catch will be said foul flag to her for utio to her mansaso wo dia won fa wo dia so anto to me I find it say it is a bit of too much of intimidating and then too much of a pressure or exercise and as a person or exert on Ukraine. That is also not proper. Lunatic ideas and ideologies is not proper. But to Chiampa says say no Ukraine who said NATO for no they don't hear no obi amfa tuam obi amfa the troops are ma. America can hover around the NATO territorial area. Put you won't me attacking no aggression. Germany or air obetima call the NATO patrolled area. Ultimately call the Russia Ukraine over oyi. And in Russia will declare no fly zone. And so declare no fly zone there. Kofina said, "Say we ban the territory, and only say aircraft no, a United States aircraft, a UK aircraft there, or down on the CR there, also to me hit your country."
Okay.
And to woman in idea no can na Kofi, MPP ni NDC talk ibia, ombe speech, ombe statements, but when it comes to real time action, they cannot predict what is on the mind of the lunatic governments.
One bodam ni eko na ase osresre ebi ho a unnim za ba bi da ne ho be fa dia bo team ye declare the president of Abadam for presidency we are seeing na dey na ke say okona ye but Ghana for ho a manfo aye concern no ebi aba bedu kakra bi wo mo aka no so mo mra no ebi se lata moemwe wo mo se twa so mbeba Ghana pa de ne nka bombu nku wo mo na ebi abom wo mo ne nam Europe wo mu dwane se ya dese ebi mo nso abusuafo se he mo mra fie enti wo mo nso twetwa ticket asende de ama wo mo a info ya nyane se ebi beba wo kina ene na de kye a wo mo ankasa na atwa wo mo tickets a wo mo nso edwane aba but wo mo a na ewo wa anwadwum so mpeso mo ko Europe ne de say na mo ntokwa ne nti Europe bie ne borders no se o manfo betumi adwane abebo abo ewo ho ti ebi mo ahya ase a wo mu wura sa tokuro no se wo betumi akobo wo se ntokwa ne betwa se entwa ne de say minim e betumi atwa soon
very soon no Russia there obey ni dede Russia be intimidate your friend saying Ukraine said do no but Russia who said NATO fo ni nyina no o provoke obi ama Russia will see obey cease fire but now no the oya no there a shake up anya dia obetima destroy Ukraine and anya dia so a obetima say or retake Ukraine nemom say NATO no bam na pressure bam dia then the Russia invasion must have a strategy, it must have a target, and it must have an objective. Say, after them are prepared. Say, may call all out. Ukraine, you cease to be a country on your own. You are part of USSR. Come back. And no, and the name say, intimate do Putin, intimate yes, no. But Ukraine, Zelensky no, on base calculate now on so yes, sir. Abenya the sympathy of Europe. Near the Nakan European Union on term. Now be European member. Now they are justify say ampa ye two Petro Poroshenko no munya gidie ma me say me demboko Europe betima enter. The time no so ye. Nti du ba bia ya na presidency no sezi ayaka say wono ya garden 24 hours. Wone na ire ne ma ye safe. Odidi fine. Innocent civilians no and a Putin yamom which are comprehensively condemn it. But in event and in a time of war, no, you don't control the horizon. You don't control the excesses and you cannot control what happens. It is quite sad indeed. But I'm saying is the political discussions went bad. Diplomatic discussions went very bad. And the economic discussions, went bad. All the three forces combined together, no, and no nadi we say interesting say. Enya Ukraine kwani the first country kwani bi ankone Russia enya standoff 1979 Afghanistan ono no tin so wote ne ho afi Russia that time na Ukraine mu nyina aka the Soviet Union no ho na hwade with Georgia with Belarusia with Turkmenistan with Russia with Uzbeks with Kazakhstan with all this Moldova ni nyina together no Oman timine Afghanistan anko.
So Afghanistan hwe wo mo.
O hwe Russia USSR 1979 up to 89. 89 na went no and Oman in so that time no again was the presidency of Mikhail Gorbachev. So Mikhail Gorbachev and the car said the fight is okay. Afghanistan call. Bearing in mind again he said Afghanistan na onye part of even Soviet Union as in 1947. English, ya na British way no. Omo na ye the colonial masters of Afghanistan. And to omo di omo sika e punish omo ni nyama no 1947 and omo so no British face it off. And omo beje and omo ye declare Afghanistan as a state. Or ye state na no a part of USSR do. And to Russia, COVID-19 Russia na di sika, di ni intelligence, or di ni army, di ni weapon, di kokoma Afghanistan na British for kunji independence. Into Afghanistan, Russia for na share wom. Into bedu 79 na wom so mpeso si yo country no. And then di Afghanistan na Russia problem bas na mo British for bom na wom giche mu eche mu domu no. Ya ne ma muska di eye country no. Adenti na afi mo beti no ho. And our Western allies ya ekoti ekuo bi a friend Mujahideen rebels. Sa Mujahideen rebels na New Moscow be kon ya, USSR be kon ya 10 years na. Mikhail Gorbachev at the Afghanistan the mamti. So far in the history of Russia no, Afghanistan and a defeat you.
To see Ukraine for near Russia for cause somebody face one. Russia by yam Ukraine and I say Ukraine by yam Russia.
Kofi, when your question is will be some medical show the strength of the Russia army.
Yeah.
In terms of numbers.
David said David and Goliath.
David the numbers neko.
David come Goliath.
Matthias here, and no Kofi, unless you are telling me on before the public say Kofi, oh yeah, David and Goliath time any yen. And ye generation ni bi ni. A history ye be read history book Bible ni che say na Goliath ni pa kese ya tenten no hye dade eche. Me no mye ni ye hu. You and I were not there. Dr. Mahmoud Bamua. Enti yenti ase. That generation enye bi ye ka 2022 years
on numbers na chere
ye ka on numbers say your country bi a we small country the population so chew the economy so chew the army so chew the reserve so chew and all weapons so say wo bi kra na after say what te hu be your country no Russia no develop niema still otimi ko moon otimi ko orbit otimi ko ba bia wo Ukraine untimi ko bi plus one mistake we are saying say Ukraine is not an international player of the world say Ghana be sorry say Ukraine ti odi na chi akokontoka onye international player say Mexico our near neutral land no obekwa akodi Ukraine chi so akokontoka and let us understand say it is not a matter say Ukraine betimi Russia akon because once you are Russian it's a matter say our contingent obetimi na face enti meme de Kofi menso so
Cecilia Zelensky akọ kasa ewo European Parliament.
Yes.
On the air question.
What's he saying?
I say we are fighting just for our land and our freedom.
And he onokwa admit and acknowledge. But fighting for our land, no. Zelensky is still talking about the eastern belt of the Donbass region. Mariupol, Crimea, Lugansk and Donetsk. And no so there to me no me feel say Zelensky forget it. On forgetting normal Russia no on fa wo mu. Na Ukraine greater part no wo son dada. Wo land and our population no so. Adentina that strip no at say Gaza strip no. Russia any we problem ho. Na nkofo na mu sa strip no ma so feel say on person be part of Russia. On to kwan say
Aja Farouk Al Wahab, international diplomatic consultant. Nkomo we ye betwa so. Ye be here part 2. Abra developments ni bi akọ enim oni ahwe how things will pan out. But till then dey yemfa enede no emfa ensia. Ye be da se pa about final words.
My final words.
Are you for Russia or you are for Ukraine?
How can I be for Russia?
Because obi frame me say
I know an person me be explain say. And now so obi say me pro Russia. No. Me pro West and then me pro world and I'm here pro peace.
Okay.
Me need anything say me support to Putin on any form of aggression against one country. Okay. It will be very undiplomatic. However, I'm also not in support of the Western system, the Western culture, especially Europe forum. I'm not such a simple issue no I aggravated. Whereas Omirefi said the person who could cool a friend is saying Putin down no Angelica Merkel is no more within the European Union. And in some noise may be in a European for no. They know very well say Holland don't continue troop. They know very well say Switzerland don't team for troop unko. They know very well say Austria don't for troop unko. They know very well say Hungary team for troop unko. They know very well say Norwegians unko, Denmark unko, Iceland unko, Finland unko, Luxembourg unko. And if we know say our countries in nyina unko dia, why and why again? Say Kofi omu forso na omu dia den omu tusu jagum na case na abedu baby a me no kasa yedu eni ko fi final word say the world need peace. Me some final word say there cannot be this issue Russia Ukraine cannot lead to any world war as a monko for security experts ne nkofo aka no because say some countries 56 members of the African Alliance and as African organization obi ani ho a one to say one Russia and I say one other countries ono be sorry afani to say okoboa Ukraine enti awon hia say NATO enti say Ukraine from kwa meye NATO member Kofi na ayeden Ukraine meye European Union no member na abeye den say by affect me affect you affected the oil prices. Into global markets is affected because Russia is fighting. And no na be hit here, and only the excesses and the long term or the medium short term effect and what Africans so. But to suggest say me support to say Russia and yes and there be, but me suggest say me support to say subesu jegum because America do many see so. Kofi, America will not drop one bomb, one arsenal on the soil of Russia. So occur in defense of Ukraine. Into Europe for no omnya do mo ye no.
It has to be Farouk Al Wahab and anything common.